Okay, welcome to video 2 on why having less stuff is important and why it's one of the reasons why I live in a van. The second reason is very simple, and it feels like I can be redundant with it, but it almost seems like people need it. And at the same time, the more that I apply it in my life, I see that I need it even more and more, and I find more and more areas to apply it. So it is not redundant in any way, and it's something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, along with having quality over quantity, which was the last video that I filmed. That's something else that I'm going to be doing every day of my life, making sure that I'm eliminating the unnecessary and keeping the high quality, whatever it is. The next one is simply, it's almost like a philosophy. I think we have tons of things backwards in our lives today, 180 degrees wrong. We can talk about more of that later, but it comes down to this. It's being and doing rather than having. So most people, when they think about things, or they say, oh man, if I only had $1 million, then I would be able to do these types of things and I would be happy. Or I would be able to do this and then I would be happy. And that's really what it comes down to. People is they think about having actually produces that happiness, and that goes for many reasons. Like advertisers, they want us to think that it's something very important to have this, and it's going to make the difference, life or death difference, whether or not we have their product or service. And they are beneficial. Nothing against advertising, and nothing against being productive and creating something, but in reality, having those things really doesn't do a lot for your happiness. Being productive and the principles and the way that you live your life is much more, or your happiness determines on those things much more than simply having things. Back in the day, I used to want a lot of things. I wanted the car, I wanted the house, I wanted the money, I wanted the girl, freedom, the knowledge and friends and all of that. And I figured that whenever I had all of that, I would be happy, and I had it completely ass backwards. That once I am happy, then those things actually start coming to me. So it's been pretty interesting to see the progress in those. And here's the key to getting anything that you want. So nothing against having things, but in order to get what you actually want, is you put that thing down on paper and you say, I want this thing, whatever it is, no matter what it is. And then what you do is you ask yourself the right questions and you say, what kind of a person naturally has these things? So, in other words, what kind of a person do I need to be? And by being that type of person, I will naturally do the right types of things that will, as a consequence, naturally give me those things that I want, or the desired object. So really, it's focusing on being the person, and being what you want, and being that, and in consequence doing all of those activities. You get a lot more joy out of doing too, rather than having. There's simple pleasures that are just you can't overlook. And really, I think once you if you do focus a lot on things and having them, you'll chase them forever. You think things determine the happiness. It really turns your life into hell. Really wanting those things and basing your happiness on outward sources should come from within, and we can control that. And I think if you do that, you will just never ever be satisfied. You'll just run on that little rat wheel, getting more and more stuff, having to accumulate more and more things, and it won't give you the satisfaction that being the type of person that you want to be, and doing the types of things that person naturally does. However, if you do switch your little mindset there, which I had to do, and I'm still doing all the time actually, is being is much more fulfilling. Doing brings that joy. And so what I would do is I would give you some homework right now, to sit down and decide what you want, and then make a quick little map on what kind of a person naturally has this. What kind of a person do I need to be in order to naturally have those things. And it could be, relationships, could be physical objects, it could be emotional situations, it could be, with your job, could be with anything that you want. In reality, that's what you need to do. So whatever it is that you want, that's the trick to get it, is be, do, have, not have, do, be. Again, if you guys have any questions, and I know you've thought of people that need a message like this, so that maybe they've focused their life around having rather than being and doing. If that's the case, go ahead and share this with them, whether Facebook, Twitter, or anything like that. Feel free to do that, or send them a link to my blog, or share it out with anybody else you need. That would be appreciated not only by me, but I'm sure that they will receive much more benefit out of it by just simply applying this principle of having and doing being and doing rather than having. So if you have any questions, comments, or similar situations, or anything you want to add on to, or that you think that other people would enjoy and would benefit from, go ahead and put that down in the comments below. We're all here to help each other figure things out, get down to reality, see what it is, and then live our lives in the best way that we can from there. So in the meantime, take care. This is video number 2 about being, doing, and having and why having less stuff is important to me, and how it's one of the reasons why I chose to live in a van. In the meantime, take care.